Welcome to the Sharpe Show. So happy that you have joined me this evening. It is 7 p.m. on the East Coast, and I'm here yet again. So I'm very happy that you have joined me for a little bit of a cool, I hope, Friday. Well, there is some news, which I don't think we're that shocked about. It is true that the Democrats in New York have had their convention. Republicans don't have theirs for another about 2 weeks or so, week and a half, 2 weeks when they have theirs. The Democrats are done, and they have selected Kathy Hochul as their nominee. And you might say, wait a minute, Larry, how could they have selected Kathy Hochul as their nominee? I don't get it. Isn't there supposed to be a primary where the Democrats get together and vote during the primary season? And then the Democratic Party, the people, get to pick who their person is. That's why they have party status. They're a major party, so they should go through the whole thing being the major party. Yeah, no, that's not how that works. No, still primary. No. Democratic establishment has voted. 80 some odd % said Kathy Hochul, she's the one. She is now the nominee. There will be no primary. And you might go, well, that's okay, because in New York State Republicans, they're going to give us a primary. Yeah, probably not too. They're probably not either. They're going to try their best in about a week and a half to go up there and just anoint somebody also, just like everybody else does. It's great. Now you're saying, well, Larry, are Libertarians going to have a primary? Well, we might have if we were a party, but they don't give us a party, so we're not anyway, so we can't. So even if we were going to, we can't. Libertarians, Forward, Unite, we don't get to have one because New York State has said we don't exist. So we don't get to have primary either way. It doesn't matter for us. But those are supposed to be the two major parties. They're the ones who are parties, in New York State. They're supposed to have a primary, right? They're supposed to be about democracy, right? Yeah, no. We're picking some people, and that's it. So, yeah, that's how that works. We might say, well, that's okay, Larry. We kind of knew that was going to happen. Well, no, we didn't up front. If you remember when Kathy Hochul first became the governor, I actually thought she probably wouldn't run. I thought, without question, Letitia James, the AG, is super powerful. She's really gonna, be able to knock this out of the park. And I think most people thought the same thing. But if you remember, some of you who were watching me, I said the weirdest thing is the Democratic establishment, meaning the party leaders, they openly backed Hochul and endorsed her for the governorship. That's not supposed to happen. What's supposed to happen is party leadership is neutral until the party decides whoever the nominee is, right? So the chair of the party should be, I'm neutral. I will follow what the will of my party is. That's what's supposed to happen. That didn't happen in the Democratic Party. They went, no, it's her. Done. And then everyone else went, us? And they went, nope, sorry. So they all started trying to raise money. Now, James had trouble raising cash. She was doing okay, but she wasn't doing that well. Jumaane Williams was just going to become more popular. And he is. Well done for him. I guess that guy Swazi, is that his name Swazi in Long Island? He was just going for a cash grab. And it worked. He raised like $1 million, $2 million, whatever it is. He just basically stole people's money. So good for him. I mean, smart move, I guess, if you're corrupt like he is. Then fine. Well done. But that was that. So James gets the cash. And all of a sudden she realizes I'm in trouble. She makes a deal. The deal is, and again, there's no data on this. In other words, I can't, excuse me. I had to sneeze for a second. I can't tell you. Whoa, excuse me. Don't know where that sneeze came from. I'm talking about this stuff gets me. I'm allergic to it, I guess. So she makes a deal, and so now she's going to hammer Trump for the Democrats in 2024. She's going to try to put Trump and his kids or whatever on trial or in jail or subpoenaed or whatever. She does that. They support her. She doesn't run. Deal cut. All that's left is her. Vote goes to her. Life is good. James stays on the ticket. James is running again with her, who was an enemy, now an ally. Done and done. Also pushes Cuomo out. That's what happened. If you're a Democrat in New York State, you think you had power. Silly Democrats. You don't have any power here. That's just how it's won. They've decided who it is, and that's that. So Let's listen to what she had to say, because I'm sure you're going to know for sure. What she had to say was amazing and awesome, and no, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. No.
It's the Democratic Party. We love to party, right?
Love to party, except when it comes to cannabis. We don't like that, or any other drug at all. So no, you like to party only with, I guess, alcohol. I guess that's it. Everyone else got to go to jail. But okay, I guess if that's how you consider party, it's fine.
Oh, and what a celebration this is. What a celebration of our values, our party, and great leaders.
Now note what she said. What a great celebration of our values and our party. And the person who brought her up, in case you didn't know, was Hillary Clinton. So this is a celebration of values and party. And the person who brought her up was Hillary Clinton.
It's like Hillary Clinton. Welcome back, Hillary Clinton. It is so great to see you and to hear your voice of reason.
Because when I think of Hillary Clinton, the first thing I think of is voice of reason. That's what I think. I know you all think the same thing. The second you heard Hillary Clinton, you thought, voice of reason. I know you all thought that, and so does everybody. So the funny thing about Governor Hochul, Her Majesty, Queen Kathy, is that she just says stuff. She doesn't even think if it makes sense. She just says it and smiles and hopes we all say yes. And she's so used to having her rear end kissed that she just says it and people smile and go, yes. Not what people think, though, but it's fine.
Thank you for that introduction. And since my very early days in local government, I've been so inspired by your strength and your tenacity and your belief in the power of government to do good.
Yeah, see, you've been inspired by Hillary Clinton's belief that the power of government can do good. I would ask you, if you're watching, to think. In the past, I don't know, 30, 40 years, you pick. Try to think of all the times that government's done good compared to all the time the power of government has done bad. I got a feeling that's going to weigh heavy on one side. So I get your belief and your desire. Okay, you could believe that it could be true. And I guess maybe it could be true. I mean, maybe there's a guy named Santa Claus. Maybe it could be true. All I know is right now it's not. That I'm sure of. I mean, maybe in the future, some guy might name himself Santa Claus and put in a red suit and give people gifts. It could happen. The odds of that are about the same as the power of government doing so good, as you say. And when it comes to Hillary Clinton, what was she doing so good? Libya? Fighting Russia? China? How well did that do when she was Secretary of State? Was that government doing good? When she was senator, what was so good when she was senator? Can you name one thing she did as senator? How about as first lady? Where was that power to do good? What happened to healthcare? So, look, I'm not faulting Hillary Clinton for failing often. I fail too. You fail. We all fail. But I wouldn't want someone to say, you know what Larry Sharpe's done? Showed me how powerful government can be. I hope no one ever says that. If anyone ever says that, I hope they're either joking and roasting me on some Comedy Central roast, which would be fine then, or I don't know, maybe I've gone insane. I don't know what has happened. I'd be embarrassed. I hope that never happens to me. But she actually says that. When there's no evidence that it's true, either within whatever Hillary Clinton has done or in reality, I see a whole lot of government pain, not doing good. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. But if we're talking about New York State, we have so many people leaving this state. Yeah, the data is not in your favor. Not in your favor, Your Majesty, not in your favor.
You've always inspired me. You and every single elected woman who came before me.
Because only the woman inspired her. This is the part that continues to bother me. Every, and I mean every single time she has a public speech like this, she pulls out the woman card. And I'm not against the woman card. As you guys know, I pulled the race card out in the past. I have. But you should pull it out when it matters. If she was talking about, say, domestic violence against women, if she was talking about the glass ceiling of women in business, if she was talking about, something else like that, then pull it out. I get it. There are times when it makes total sense If you're talking about, abortion rights or reproductive rights, pull the card out. I got it. That's where you're going to pull it out. That makes sense, right? I totally get that. Even being a mom with children in schools, pull out the card. This is just for nothing. Every time I'm inspired. Why? Because women inspire me. So men can't inspire you. Men can't inspire you. I took my daughter to go see the story of Harriet Tubman because that's inspiring. She happens to be a woman. That inspires me. I also like Gandhi. That inspires me too. He happens to be a man. So I don't go, I'm only inspired by men, Harriet Tubman. I don't do that. But not just that. Gandhi's not black. Harriet Tubman is. Do I only talk about black people who inspire me? Look on my wall. Those of you who see me in my wall. I do have a black one on my wall too, but I also have an Asian man and a white guy. I got a bunch, right? I got a bunch. It's fine. Anyone can inspire. This is not strong because, as I said all the time, if you always do it, the second you don't do it, now you're a bad person. Use the appropriate card in the appropriate moment. She does it again, talking about democratic values. This is identity politics at its worst. Don't get me wrong, Republicans do it too. Democrats just worse. Actually, in this case, far worse.
Made historic moments like this possible.
It's historic.
And I thank each and every one of you, the heart and soul of the
Why is this historic? Because it's her? Okay. If I get nominated tomorrow, I'm going to say it's historic. Why is it historic? I don't know, because it's me. You're not the first governor in America. You're not. There's other women governors. It's not that impressive. You've already been governor for months. So it's not that impressive. This is historic. This is the norm. So I'm a woman, so it's historic. No. At this point, there are issues like, for example, if you become president, that would be historic. But becoming governor, been there, done that. This is not historic. This is just you thinking like you're more special than you are.
Democratic Party for giving me the opportunity to serve as the very first female nominee for governor.
Oh, it's the first female nominee for governor. That's the historic thing. Okay, I guess that's historic for New York. Sorry, it's the first female nominee for governor of New York. Well, yeah, I guess that's true. Is that historic? I guess. Okay.
Sí se puede. Sí se puede.
Not puede. Say it right. Come on now.
Well, I won't keep you in suspense any longer.
No?
I accept your nomination.
Aww.
And I do so with a heart full of gratitude and humility.
Now, you always just said, keep this in mind. She accepts it with a heart full of gratitude and humility, as she tells us how historic she is. You might not understand what that word humility means. I'm not sure. You might want to go tell your speechwriters, hey, what's this word mean? It means arrogance, right? I mean, if you thought it meant arrogance, well done. I don't think you thought that, though.
And I will never, ever take for granted the trust you placed in me and my leadership.
Kind of already have. You kind of already have.
I also thank my family
now
for their enduring.
Right now, what you hear in the background is Democrats who are mad at her. That's what you're hearing in the background. And you're going to hear that for the next couple of minutes because they're really pissed off at her. And they're mad because she was supposed to make sure that no one gets evicted. And people might get evicted coming up here real soon. And they're mad at her for that. Now, you might say, well, Larry, she's Democrat. Why didn't she just promise more money, right? Which is what Democrats do. And they do well. Again, this is a skill set. When it comes to writing checks, Democrats are amazing. Republicans are good too. Remember, Republicans are debt and spend, and Democrats are tax and spend, right? But both of them will also use law enforcement as a profit center to raise money. So both will use the police to raise money, but the Democrats will tax, and they always say taxing the rich. That always looks good. And Republicans just go into debt and go, we're investing. That's what Republicans will do. But either way, they're just going to spend a bunch of money. So why can't she just say, hey, people who are mad at the eviction, I'll write some more checks? She can't. the money's starting to run out. Uncle Joe in DC can't keep writing the checks. And she's been spending it on giving all her friends a bunch of jobs for the past 2-3 months. You've been watching her create the office of this and the office of that, and 17 million for this and 25 million for this office. So all her friends and cronies can all get jobs and have offices and have cool, cushy government jobs. I get it. Everyone does it. I get it. But you keep throwing up all these millions for your friends to have jobs. You don't have enough to give New Yorkers money for rent. So now people are mad at her.
Belief in me and for their unconditional love.
Hear it?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And now she has to have people outside trying to drown out the people in the back who are mad, and they're yelling, Kathy, Kathy, because they notice this is all being, right? This is all being filmed. So they're going to yell, Kathy, Kathy, so no one can hear her, all the people in the back yelling, we're going to get evicted. You lied to us. That's what they're actually yelling in the background. You lied. That's what they're yelling. There's a bunch of them in the background. That's why they can't get rid of them so fast. They don't have enough security to get out all the people who are mad at her right now. This is true.
Buddy. I'm going to talk about my family. Let me talk about my family.
Now, she doesn't even know how to handle this, right? She just pushes through because she's so arrogant. She just pushes. Let me talk about my family. That'll shut you peasants up. That is what I'll do. No. The right response is only a couple of things. One, just be quiet until security takes care of it. That's option one. Just stop talking. Wait. Or two, something more human, which she doesn't understand, is address their problem. Those are the two. Both of those work. Just shut up and wait. Okay, security take care of it. We'll chill for a little bit. Okay, they're gone. Let's keep talking. Or, no, let them speak. What do I got to say? Say your piece. One of the two. Either one works. When it doesn't work is what she's doing. And now each one shouts down the other while she tries to talk over it, and it messes up her entire speech. This is her inauguration. Well, not inauguration. This is her nomination speech.
Appreciate the enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm. Hear them yelling, we don't trust you, blah, blah, blah. Yep, they're all yelling.
Friends.
Isn't this terrible? She's trying to smart. Look, I part of me does feel a bit bad for her, right? Because I've been in spots when I'm in front and people are mad at me. I've been yelled at. Some of you have seen me get yelled at. I've been yelled at before. If you play this game, you are going to get yelled at. That's kind of how it works. So I understand that. But many of you who watched me and seen me get yelled at, I do my events live. So if somebody can come in and yell at me, and they do. It does happen sometimes. I don't just walk through it. There we go. Now she's done. The yelling Kathy is so loud, people in that can't be heard. See that?
Thank you. Thank you, my friends. Thank
you for covering up.
Thank
how
you.
Bad people think I am. I appreciate that.
Democrats, it wouldn't be the same without a lot of ruckus.
Yeah, because only Democrats.
This is who we are. And I want to thank my family.
Tell me, how cool is your family?
For their enduring belief in me.
You might have seen videos like this before.
I apologize.
But here's the big secret.
This
Anyone can make one of these
Sorry about that. This is the big secret, by the way.
videos in a few.
Sorry.
And for their unconditional love from my father, who's with us today.
They're still yelling at her. Like as they grab somebody, someone else comes in and yells, then someone else comes in and yells, and people keep yelling. For someone who got 80-some-odd% of the vote, this does not seem very united.
First encouraged me to run for elective office.
Still
and my
yelling.
mother, Patricia, whose empathy and compassion for those who have less shaped the person I am.
They're still yelling, so now they're starting to go, let's go, Kathy.
We're going to get through this, my friends. We'll get through it. We're going to be
guys
fine.
in the back of the ground, they're trying to move more
We'll
security
get
around.
through it.
Well, at least she stopped talking now. I'll give her that. That's the right move, right? It's the right move. She stopped talking. It's pretty embarrassing right now. I feel bad for her. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That's a lie. That's not a lie. I should feel bad for her, but I really don't. I should, but I don't. She's been crushing our state for the past who knows how many months. So not much sympathy. Not much. Maybe a little bit. I'm human. And I've been there.
And I'm proud to acknowledge dissent in our party But I'm also proud of receiving 85% of the vote in this room.
85% of the vote in this room. 85% of the Democrats in that room voted for her. That's good. But weren't there like 5 of the people who were trying to run and they all got booted for her? There we go. How much you care about Jumaane Williams? Or James? Or anybody else running? Bye. Kick to the curb.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. So, as I was saying.
Yeah, tell me, what were you saying?
To New York's first gentleman, my husband, Bill, whose love and support is the wind beneath my wings. And our children, Will and Katie, and their spouses, Christina and Matt, who've endured my absences with nothing but love and understanding.
I get it. I wouldn't be mad if you were
gone. And
my
5 siblings and only sister Sheila, who have that special way of keeping me humble. I love you.
She's failing badly. If her job is to keep you humble, fired. Terrible at what she does. It's not working.
To Jay Jacobs, what a leader. What a leader at a time when our party needs you, Jay Jacobs.
If these people are all leaders and you're so awesome, why is this state such a disaster? It's almost as if, remember when Cuomo used to do these, right? When Cuomo would talk about how we got to fix all these problems. New York is so broken, we got to fix all these problems. Meanwhile, he was governor for like 9 years. And he's like, all these problems around here. There's only someone who can fix. Who's in charge of this dump? I don't get it, is what he would say. And he's the guy in charge. She's like, we have all these great leaders. Okay, what have they been doing for 10 years?
Thank you. And to my brothers and sisters in organized labor, let's hear from all of you.
Oh, that's where the dollars are coming in. You did raise $20 million, so okay, you're right. You should say yes to them. This is true. She should definitely be saying, thank you to them, because a lot of money came to them. And if you're a unionized worker and you don't support her, oh well, your money goes to her anyway, because that's how unions work. So I hope if you're a union worker that you support her, because your money went to her. So at least if you support her, your money went to someone you support. If you don't support her, them's the breaks. I guess you're paying for her.
We can is right. Yes, we can and we will. And to all the advocates and the grassroots and faith leaders and the many elected officials who are here today.
Yeah.
Who share my commitment to creating a New York filled with optimism and opportunity.
I like that.
Thank you for sharing this moment with me. Now, I've been a Democratic activist since before I was old enough to even vote.
Okay.
Starting as a high school volunteer, working with Buffalo's own Tim Russert to help elect Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan.
So you've been broken for a
while. Let me tell you, my
Okay.
friends.
I got you.
It was a time of incredible cynicism.
Yeah.
And distrust of government in the immediate years following Watergate. And the divisive Vietnam War that pit family member against family members. And I tell you this for one reason.
Okay, tell me why.
Because today, many Americans feel the same cynicism,
they do,
distrust, and divide that permeated our politics when I was a young, idealistic Democrat.
Yes, that's correct. That's true. Okay, maybe. Okay, we can agree on this. I like this. Okay, there's a saying I used to hear all the time, and I think it tends to be right. If you want to know what's right with America, ask a conservative. If you want to know what's wrong with America, ask a progressive. No, I'm sorry. It was actually Democrat, Republican. Ask if you want to know what's right with America, ask Republican. If you know what's wrong with America, ask a Democrat. The problem is Democrats don't know how to fix anything, and Republicans won't fix anything. So I guess that's good.
And yet I stand before you today as the leader of the Democratic Party
with humility,
with the same fresh sense of optimism and belief in our values that our party stands for, same as I did in those early years.
Wow. So you believe that the right answer was just make mandates and force people to do stuff. You've thought that for years. Oh, look, at least that is, at least you're on brand. I guess that's good. So you've always thought the right answer is people are stupid. Don't let them make their own decisions. You should decide everything. You're just going to run stuff. And you don't want any election, as few elections and votes as possible. So I think that, okay, if you've always thought that, then I guess that's
because
good.
out of those divided times, that
Yeah.
time in our history,
Yeah.
each of these progressive movements move forward. Civil rights, women's rights, LGBTQ plus rights, voting rights, fair housing rights, environmental justice were all propelled forward. People rose up. They took to the streets.
Nixon started the EPA, didn't he? 18-year-olds got the right to vote in 72. Is that right? Is it under Nixon? Under Nixon too, maybe? Is that right? Is my history right? I think we did the voting rights for women and Black Americans was the 60s. And then for 18-year-olds was, I think, 72, if I'm not mistaken. That's Nixon. EPA was Nixon. Yeah, she's completely full of crap. She, again, made it up. Not true at all. Just said it. And then, see? That's after Vietnam was Carter and Reagan. I think she's off on this one.
They petitioned their elected leaders, and they demanded reforms that changed the course of history.
That's correct. In the 60s and early 70s.
Friends,
that's right.
This is our moment. Oh. We collectively as Democrats are poised to seize the torch.
Okay, you've had the torch for 20 years in this state. You just been burning stuff with it. You haven't lit anything up like enlightened. You just been burning stuff. You could probably put the torch out. We'll actually have less damage if you just drop the torch. It's okay. You've had it for years.
That has been passed to us from that turbulent time and those movements. But movements, I will note, were mostly led by New Yorkers. And those movements moved up.
Nixon was a New Yorker? I don't remember that. Carter was a New Yorker? Remember that. Reagan, New Yorker? No. Huh. I don't think so. Gingrich, New Yorker? No. Clinton, New Yorker? No. Last New Yorker we had was Trump, if I'm not mistaken. Well, he's a Floridian now, but was a New Yorker. That was Trump, right? I don't know. Again, making stuff up.
Us closer to the more perfect union.
He's not Democrat. Trump was a Democrat. So I guess if you count Trump as in the past being a New Yorker and the past being a Democrat, then I guess you have to count Trump. But she's saying Democratic New Yorkers. I don't know which one she's talking about.
Realized by our nation's founders. So yes, I am very, very optimistic about the future of the New York State Democratic Party.
Well, now this is smart. She's right about that. The New York State Democratic Party is solid as a rock. I mean, that's accurate. New York State Democrats outnumber Republicans about 2 or 3 to 1, almost 3 to 1 now. Most Republicans are actually packing up and leaving the state like there's no tomorrow. We lost officially 300,000 last year, but probably more like 500,000 last year. Packed up and left. The vast majority were right-leaning or conservatives or Republicans. The vast majority were. They've gone to Florida. I mean, Florida's deep red because we've been literally just exporting our Republicans over there. So that's one of the reasons why Florida is so red. You go back 10 years, Florida was a swing state. Those days are long gone. We sent like 500,000 Republicans just from New York State down there. So yeah, of course it shifted red. So this is correct. This state is in a lock, a death grip with the establishment Democratic Party. In New York State, she's right. If I was Democrat, I would feel safe too. It's a smart move. I agree. Again, we agree. Look at that.
And I believe to my core that this party can and should be a powerhouse, not to serve one individual.
No.
Not just to serve the governor, but to serve all. So as governor and as
serve
the
all.
leader of this party.
Okay, she said she didn't like division, and she said serve all and humility. Remember that. Okay, so as a leader of this party, show me what you're going to do to show us optimism and how you're going to bring us all together and all those good things. Come on, bring it home. You can do it. I know you can.
I'm declaring that a whole new day has dawned.
Ooh, I like that. You declared that. Me too.
One that is grounded in the belief
that
the power and organization must rise from the bottom up.
Ooh. And
we reject the playbook.
So what you're saying is you would like local bottom up people to decide on things. Like schools and stuff? Like that? You're deciding that now? Or maybe you're not. I don't know. I like the idea. I do. Bottom up. So that would mean like you wouldn't want to mandate things from the top down. Is that what you're saying? You're declaring that now? And the question is, are you declaring that now and actually changing something? Or are you just, again, saying stuff that has no real value, you just make up on the fly and doesn't mean anything? I think it's that one. It's the doesn't mean anything. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if you know what bottom up actually means. It's kind of like the humility thing. Someone might have messed like with your Google Translate. You might want to check that one out.
That enabled only a few to succeed while others were left behind. And our party must be driven by the same grit, the same perseverance, and the passion to do good that defines the very best of New York Democrats.
Okay.
So let us rebuild this organization.
Whoa. Okay. So we got to rebuild. So it's broken. It's not working. I'm not. So, okay. Are you optimistic because it's so broken you can fix it and make it great? Or are you optimistic because it's already great? I'm not sure where you're going with this one either. You're just saying stuff. I should probably stop trying to find like a storyline. Okay, go. Yes. Optimism.
As a beacon of ideas and inclusion.
Let me ask you, ideas. I like that. That's a good one. I'm a big fan of ideas. You know me? Love ideas. Ideas are awesome. What's your idea? How are you going to fix this state besides writing more checks and giving more of your friends jobs? I hope I get a piece of that in this. Well, no, I'm not going to, am I? Okay.
An invincibility rooted in the core belief that democratic values are New York values.
Also true, because she's not wrong. It's true.
And while we believe that there are those who are vulnerable, there are those who actually believe that Democrats are vulnerable this November.
Oh, we're talking national now. Oh, okay. See, now that's different. Now she's like, oh, okay, I got this New York thing down. So we can stop talking about New York. I already locked that down. I am now the Lord and Master of this, of this, kingdom or fiefdom, whatever you want to call it, of this realm. She's already got this realm locked down. Got it on lockdown, winning. Now we're talking about the future. Don't feel sad because we're going to win there too.
I flatly reject that notion. Right here and now, I reject that notion.
I love how you just say, new day, I reject it. And we're all supposed to go, oh, I guess it's true because you said so. Awesome. I'm going to say something too. I'm the king of Sweden. I just announced that now. I'm the king of Sweden. Done deal. And for those of you who say I'm not the king of Sweden, I reject that right now. Done and done. What I just said is just as valuable as what she just said. There's literally no difference, except I'm telling you, and you know I'm joking, she actually believes what she's saying, or maybe she doesn't, but other people are like, yes, oh, she said the thing and rejected the thing, therefore it's true. Well, I am the king of Sweden, and for those of you who say, Larry, you're not even Swedish, you never been to Sweden, you don't even have a Swedish relative. I go, I reject that. Done and done. I await my crown. Hurry up, Sweden.
Because when we talk to the voters about our belief that all communities can and should be places of hope, and endless opportunity, I believe they will vote for Democrats.
Yeah. If you were to say that, I think you're right if they believed you. But you say stuff like that, then you shut all the businesses down. So it's hard for someone to say, hey, the Democrats are going to make sure I have hope and opportunity. How? There's no jobs. I reject that. Does that work? Or I just announced that there are jobs. I don't know if that works for me. I think it only works for you because there aren't any. So it doesn't work. So you're right. If you would actually do it and create an environment to where you would support entrepreneurs and support small businesses and support local community banks, then yes. But you have not even one plan to support any of them. None of them.
Because when we stand together,
we
are unstoppable.
Yeah. Yes, because there are a lot of you. Even they're out there, still like, don't know if that's true. Even her own people aren't buying that last one. They're like, I guess.
Why am I so confident?
Because of the humility. That's the reason. Because you forgot what humility meant. That's why you're so confident. You got so much humility that you're so confident.
It is steeled in one basic fact.
Tell me.
That New Yorkers always rise up in the face of adversity.
Correct. They always rise up and they go right to the U-Haul joint and they grab a U-Haul, they pack their trash and they leave. So yet again, you are correct. You just got to keep the sentence going. New Yorkers rise up, go get a U-Haul van, pack their stuff in that van and drive to Florida. That's true. You are right. But that doesn't sound optimistic to me unless I'm Floridian. Then I'm pretty happy because I got all New York tax money coming to me and I got all the New York pensions that us here in New York are still paying for that are now being spent in Florida. So if I'm in Florida, I'm all about standing up and coming to Florida and spending your pension money here. But if I'm in New York, that doesn't sound so good to me.
Always rise up.
And leave.
It's just in the last 2 years.
Yeah, in the last 2 years, we've lost about 1 million New Yorkers, give or take, 500,000 to 1 million in that area. Just in the last 2 years. Yet again, you are correct, Your Majesty. Well done.
After what we've been through. Look.
No. What you put us through. Little change on your pronouns. You know, little change. If I'm your speech writer, I'm gonna make a minor shift in your speech. Not what we've been through, what you put us through. That's more accurate.
How we're rising up.
Where?
We have
rising up to leave. Right. You're right. We are leaving. Correct.
endured some of the most difficult times in our state's history following this pandemic. And I know many are still longing for that sense of normalcy.
Yes.
They're reeling from persistent sense of loss.
So you're immediately going to stop all the mandates, right? Right? Come on,
Loss of
right?
loved ones, loss of their livelihoods.
Yep, you
And
did.
for many,
Yep.
the loss of hope.
Yes, your fault.
You might have seen videos like this
sorry,
before,
guys.
but
This
here's
is
the
so
big
many-
secret. Anyone can make one of these videos in a
Many ads. I
I
apologize.
saw it in the eyes of exhausted nurses.
Yes, you
everywhere
did.
from Buffalo to Binghamton,
Right before you fired
to
'em.
Plattsburgh. We called them heroes.
And then you fired
But
them
they still feel they're being ignored.
because you fired them. Correct. Because you made sure that when they lost their job, they didn't get any benefits. But you allowed everyone in New York to get mega benefits from the federal government while we sat home and watched Netflix, while the nurses and the medical personnel worked literally in certain cases in areas where they didn't even know if they would live. Remember, for those of you who don't remember, I mean, when this first happened back in March of 2020, 2020, we didn't know if this was Ebola. We had no idea how bad this was going to be. Obviously, it was not Ebola. But the people who were in the hospitals dealing with this, they didn't know that then. As far as they knew this could have been the plague. They didn't know, but they still went to work in the hospitals, in the emergency rooms, in the medical facilities. They went to work. And as far as they knew then, it could have been the plague or Ebola. They didn't know, and they still went. So yeah, those are heroes. Absolutely. Not knowing what it was at the time. Now we're much more aware, obviously. But then we didn't know, and they still went in. They are heroes. And your response is fired. Yeah, I understand why people lose hope. You are explaining how bad you are very well. That's true.
I saw it in the eyes of a mother in Southeast Queens.
Yep.
Who wanted reassurance that when her kids were in school that they'd be safe.
Yeah, but it wasn't from the virus. That wasn't what she was concerned about. Not in Southeast Queens. I know, I live in Queens. She wasn't worried about that. That wasn't what she was worried about. She was about violence is what she was worried about, not about COVID. That was not what she was concerned about. I know. I live here. I know.
As this pandemic preyed on a parent's very worst nightmare, something happening to their child.
Okay, the pandemic didn't do that. Kids aren't dying from this, but you know what the kids are dying from? Gunshot wounds and suicide. That they are dying from. And your plan for that is, yeah, I'm gonna keep listening because nothing's happening.
I saw it in the eyes of a small bakery owner in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Who had really good brownies. I love brownies.
Well,
But he
what's your
was
life?
worried
Yeah.
that his little business that he worked so hard for would
Yeah.
fall victim to crime and gun
Yes.
violence.
Yep.
And I saw it in the eyes of an upstate farmer.
So she went down 4 roads. She went down nurse, mom, small business owner, and farmer. So I saw it in all these things. And then my way of fixing that is nothing. Note, all she's done is said how bad it is. And she said all the things that basically her and her protege Cuomo did in tandem. She wasn't out in the road saying Cuomo was wrong. She wasn't in his ear saying, dude, you got to stop this. She was out shaking hands and kissing babies and loving life on the government dime. She was totally happy with that. And then when she got into power, she doubled down on everything. So as everything was being destroyed, all the problems that those four people just mentioned, directly because of her and her protege Cuomo, well, the reverse, and her mentor, and her mentor Cuomo, directly related to that. And her response is, yeah, sucks to be you. That's her response.
Who feared that the hardship of the pandemic would actually be the end of his survival. In traveling every corner of this state, I heard their stories.
Then why are you smiling?
I embraced them as if they were my own.
No, you didn't. That is a blatant lie. You embraced all their stories as if they're your own. Then you don't fix your own problems? You just let your problems fester? You let all theirs fester. You let all their problems fester. You don't even talk about how to fix it. You keep saying it as if it somehow gives you street cred. Because I was there when the guy did the bad thing. Okay, but what did you do? You had power and authority. What did you do? Nothing. You had the ear of the governor. What did you do? Nothing. You had the bully pulpit if you wanted it. What did you do? Nothing. You could have gone to the press and done a press conference. What did you do? Nothing. You could have addressed the Senate, addressed the Assembly. You could have put forward some legislation. You could have come up with an idea. You could have started a podcast. What did you do? Nothing. What have you done since you've been governor? Punish us more.
New Yorkers whose lives have been turned upside down are looking to us, their leaders, for results.
And they're going to get nothing. That's a bad move. If you're looking to her to help, now look, if you're her friend, she will get you a job. So it's probably good to be your friend. If you happen to know her personally and you're like her buddy, you will probably get a job in her, administration somehow. So that's a good thing if you're her friend. But for the literally tens of millions of you who are not her friend, you're kind of out of luck. Basically, good luck.
We cannot overlook the reality that the pandemic exposed racial inequalities and disparities that long time simmered under the surface.
So we didn't know that before. See, I didn't know that there were racial issues until the pandemic. That's the thing. We didn't know. Or just hear me out. It's going to sound nuts. I know. Or when we realized how incompetent we were, which the pandemic did show, when we realized how we would just use the hammer and fall basically to martial law to the best of our ability as soon as things got bad, we then used all the racial stuff and gender stuff as a distraction so we can fight a culture war and not deal with the actual bottom problems that's in our infrastructure of our actual government. The fact that we don't even have a functioning democracy anymore because literally there's no primaries. And we know the state is deep blue or deep red. So does voting even matter? That's why most New Yorkers don't even vote. We could talk about that or blame racism, which we could do, gender. And these things exist. I'm not saying there's no racism. Of course there is. I'm not saying there's no misogyny. Of course there is. But that isn't the issue that affects New York State government. The system itself is broken. Fix the system. And then that farmer and that business owner, right? And that teacher, and that parent and that nurse, maybe they wouldn't be so sad anymore. You wouldn't sit up here and laugh about their pain and basically just say, sucks to be you. You might actually have to help them. Crazy, I know.
Black mothers in Harlem, the Bronx, and Brooklyn still experience a much higher mortality rate in birth than white mothers.
Yeah, but they knew that. They knew that. Like, I knew that. Okay, I knew that. They knew that. Like, years ago. This isn't a new thing. We knew that when we were blaming the black community for crack baby. Remember that garbage from the early 90s, late 80s? When we were blaming, it was all the black woman's fault for the crack. Remember that? We knew it back then. This isn't a new thing. Maybe you just figured it out. Perhaps. I doubt it. Maybe you just want to use it now. The issues we've had for decades. They've been exacerbated by the war on drugs, which you won't stop. They've been made worse by the war on poverty, which you won't stop. They've been made worse. You're not fixing them. You're not making them better.
Home ownership or even an affordable apartment is beyond the reach of so many young people who all they want to do is
This is so Cuomo-esque. So Cuomo. Oh, the problem in New York is a disaster. I'm curious. Who's been in charge of New York for at least the past 10, if not 20 years? Oh, right, the Democratic Party that you're a part of. Who has been in a position of power, Lieutenant Governor, having the ear of the governor and or the bully pulpit and or the press and or the state assembly or state senate for the past 8 years? Oh, wait, you. So all this stuff you're talking about, you're responsible. Like, it's you. I don't know why everything's so bad. You could just look in the mirror. That would give you an answer.
live in the same community they grew up in.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
And access to capital to generate wealth and business in communities of color is still just a dream for far too many.
Yes. And so I talk about community banking, meaning I talk about the idea of letting that there be co-op credit unions in individual counties. What's your plan? Your plan is write checks. That's her plan. Write checks.
And we sure know this. Women still face barriers to their success, from a lack of childcare to workplaces that tolerate.
Okay, so what do you think about childcare? I had a plan for childcare in 2018. What have you been doing? Nothing. My plan for childcare was on my website. You could have just picked it and taken it. But no, you have regulated localized childcare out of the market. So it doesn't even matter. Churches used to do childcare. Gone. Civic centers used to do childcare. Gone. Regulated out, right? And now you arrest people. You guys all heard that story. We arrest people who let their 14, 15-year-old babysit kids. That's against the law now. You can't leave your 12-year-old alone anymore because they might die. Even though I was a latchkey kid in the 70s in the South Bronx where I grew up. I grew up in the South Bronx. Not the best neighborhood. I grew up in the 70s. I used to walk to and from school when I was 6 and 7 and 8 years old. Somehow it was okay. I was a latchkey kid at 8 or 9 years old in the South Bronx. You could make life easier for New Yorkers so that we could have childcare. You could, but you won't. You'll just write checks and give your friends jobs.
A culture of harassment. These challenges are real.
There's a culture of harassment. Okay. Now you went to, okay. If you're going to play culture of harassment, that's your boss. Your boss. You lived in the culture of harassment. And I'm trying to remember, how many times you say something? Oh, right. Never. Right. Never. So let me try it again. You're going to talk trash about a culture of harassment. You were buddy to buddy, hip to hip with Cuomo when he was in. Hip to hip with him, taking advantage of every single bit you could take advantage of. And you didn't notice anything? You know nothing? This culture of harassment you speak about, were you that blind? Were you that dumb? Or were you part of it? Here's what I actually know. I already know this. You didn't care. That's the reality. You saw it. You didn't care. You knew it. You didn't care. You thought, this is going good. I got a cushy job. I drive around the state. I take a bunch of taxpayer money. My hubby gets to know all the cool stuff. He's in the pharmaceutical industry. He gets to make tons of money. I get tons of money because my hubby's wealthy. Life is good. I'm a shut up. So some women get harassed. You didn't care. You didn't say anything. I'll say it again. You had the governor's ear. What'd you say? Nothing. You could have gone to James and given her, tell her what's up and had her pressure the governor to stop. You didn't say anything. You could have gone to the press. You could have wrote a book. Not that you had time. You don't do anything. So you had time. You weren't doing anything for like 7 years. You could have easily wrote a book if you wanted to. So many things you could have done. And you did exactly nothing. So please stop acting like you're going to come in and save everybody. If you were going to save everybody, you would have. You had the opportunity and you said nothing.
And New Yorkers, they need us to be open and honest about how we're going to solve them.
Oh, okay. Tell us.
This much is true.
Good. Okay, this much is true. I love it.
New York's future will not wait.
Okay.
Our problems will not fix themselves.
I know. We've been sitting on them for 20 years, and you've been doing nothing for 8. We've seen this. This, again, look, there are certain things her and I agree with, and that's one of them.
Meeting this moment must be the common purpose and the
Okay.
shared objective of every single Democrat in this room.
See, all the
It
Democrats
is
are
a
doing it.
purpose
Republicans.
that lives up to the best of our democratic values, embracing our great diversity, fighting for those who have the least, and expanding opportunity for all.
Okay.
Values
For
that
all.
burn deep in our communities that have been passed down by New Yorkers from generation to generation.
That's that,
And
right?
these are the values that'll guide our path forward.
But then how come we've been sucking as a state for like 20 years? I don't get it. If these values are so strong, why have we been sucking for 20 years straight? I don't get that. I'm confused. I mean, are the values weak? Are we bad? Are there not enough of us? I don't get it. If the values are so awesome, why have we sucked for 20 years? I don't know why.
Grounded in the beliefs of fairness, and
Fairness,
justice,
okay. Justice, like that.
and equality and equity for all.
Like
And
that.
that is why we believe in
Sounds great.
strong gun safety laws so everyone from an innocent child to our young.
That's the issue. See, if you believe in fairness and in justice and equality and equity for all, of course that means no guns. I mean, it's clear, right? Isn't it? I don't know why you guys don't get this. If you believe in equity, fairness, justice, and equality, no guns. Done. Buy a gun, go to jail. That's what equity and justice means. Because you don't want little kids to have guns, what she said.
Young people to our police officers are safe from harm.
So babies and police officers safe from harm. Let me be very clear on this. What is her plan to stop that? Gun laws. We have the strongest gun laws in the entire nation. Not making that up. Toughest in the nation. So people know, every criminal, there's not one who doesn't know this. Every criminal who grabs a gun knows that if they have the gun in their hand during any type of, crime, it's at least 5 extra years in prison. At minimum. It might be 15 or 20 years more. But just having the firearm in their hand is at minimum 5 extra years in prison. They all know this, yet somehow they keep doing it. They know guns are illegal. They keep doing it. So we'll just pass more laws. The guy who shot those 2 cops, his gun was illegal. His ammunition, I'm sorry, not his ammunition, his magazine was illegal. Magazine was illegal. Gun was illegal. He was a felon. He shouldn't even have a gun. So the gun was illegal, the magazine was illegal, and he shouldn't have had a gun because he's a felon. So 3 strikes, right there, done. Guess what he had? A gun. And he used it on what? Cops. Your laws aren't going to work. They don't work. You must change the culture. The reason why there is so much violence, and now even cops, if you go back 4 or 5 years, being a cop was a very difficult job in New York City, but it wasn't crazy dangerous. We hardly ever had cops killed or shot. You go back years ago, it happened. But compared to the size of the force, it was maybe 1 every couple of years. Now, it's dangerous being a cop in New York City. It is dangerous. They're killing cops now. This is a thing. This wasn't a thing if you go back 3 or 4 years. What happened in the last 2 years? Oh, right. We locked the entire country down. We increased the black market. We encouraged the black market. We encouraged gang violence. And now we get gang violence. During any form of prohibition, when you increase the black market, you increase violence. The reason for the violence being increased is not guns. It is the black market. End the black market. Let us work. Let us be free. There won't be a black market. Larry, how do you know this? When we had prohibition in the 20s, the same thing. If you look at the death of police officers across America, the most amount of cops ever killed during prohibition, 1920s. Most amount ever killed. Because once it becomes so valuable and there's so much money about it and so much gang violence, what winds up happening is it becomes worth it to the gangsters to kill cops. In the past, it wasn't. Now it is. But not just that. There's so much money in it. When there's so much money in it, they can start bribing cops, right? They can start bribing cops now. I don't want them being able to bribe cops. They start bribing cops now. Or worse, they get so bold, they start threatening cops' families. That started happening in the 20s. And the 30s. That's all that ever happened in the 20s and 30s. So cops had to become corrupt or the gangsters would kill their family. I don't blame the cop. I get it. Let's not do that. In fact, when you make more gun laws, guns become more expensive. When they become more expensive, what happens? They're more valuable, and now it's worth even trafficking them even more. It's worth trafficking them even more. You know who's going to start trafficking those guns? Cops. Because there's going to be so much money in it, they're going to start bribing cops to let the guns go through. Guaranteed. You keep doing this, you're gonna see the investigation. There's gonna be cops 2 years from now being arrested for smuggling guns because it's gonna be so lucrative, and so that they can either bribe the cop or threaten the cop, and now you got cops fighting each other. More dead cops. This is nothing but bad, and she has no idea what she's talking about. It is not the answer at all. End the black market.
And a true system of justice to build trust between law enforcement and the communities they serve, and mental health resources to help our neighbors lead healthy lives in a home and not on the streets.
I don't even know what to say about this one. Her answer has been, I'm not joking, her answer has been better drugs in prison. That's a true thing, she said. She's like, well, how are we going to fix this? Better drugs in prison. That's her answer.
And especially mental health services for those who've been so knocked down by this pandemic.
Oh, knocked down by the pandemic, not knocked down by her rules. The pandemic. Let me give you guys a little bit of an insight that some of you may not know. The pandemic, what it does do is it kills and hurts people. That's what it does. Mostly when it comes to killing, it's mostly people over 65 who have pre-existing conditions, but that's the main spot that it kills. It hurts lots of people. Usually, again, pre-existing conditions, older. Usually, as a general rule, it does that. What it does not do is shut down the economy. What it does not do is stop businesses from working. What it does not do is end jobs. It doesn't do that. Close schools. The pandemic doesn't do that. It hurts and kills people. That's what the pandemic does. Only government can lock down culture, can lock down the environment, can destroy your business, can take away your livelihood, can crush your relationships. That's government that does that. So for her to say crushed by the pandemic is a blatant lie. Pandemics don't do that. Governments do that.
I also believe in prosperity that creates a strong middle class, founded in equality education and workforce training.
Our education is a steaming pile of garbage. Please stop that. Quality education. See, she lies. She says, well, we have a great education. We do? She says, oh, teachers are great. They are. That's true. It's not a teacher's fault. The fault is without question administrators and the system. Larry, are you dumping on administrators? Yes, I am. Yes, most of them are unnecessary and could go away tomorrow and no one would even notice. Teachers are critical. You ask why teachers are leaving? Many of them are leaving. You hear all the time. Too much bureaucracy, too much administration, too many administrators. Yeah, that's the problem. Isn't teachers. Let teachers teach. Let them teach. Why are you forcing Common Core on us? Common Core isn't by default bad. It's the mandate for Common Core that's bad. There are some kids in New York State and across the world who will learn better on Common Core. Most don't. And that's a fact. I'm not making that up. You can do your own homework. That's absolutely true. Most kids will not do better on Common Core, but some do. So leave that as an option for the teacher to use. Teacher finds a kid who does better Common Core, teach him Common Core. Kid does better, not Common Core, don't use Common Core. I don't care how your kid knows 2 + 2 is 4. Just learn 2 + 2 is 4. Whatever way you do it, why do I care? Why should you care? Let your kid love to learn, get the basics down, and then move forward wherever they are motivated to move forward in. That's quality education. We don't have that at all. So she's just talking trash again. Our education is garbage. And how do I know? We drop almost $30,000 per kid in New York State, and we rank anywhere from 25 to 37 when it comes out of 50 states. That's how I know it's garbage. That's how I know it's garbage.
Programs to lift people out of their preordained destiny determined by their zip code until now.
Absolutely not true.
And we believe in environmental protection and a 100% clean energy future because our children's children.
That's a lie too. You don't care about clean energy. You care only about cronies getting wind and solar. That's what you care about. So I would say that. You would just say, and I care about my donors ensuring that I can give them great jobs and good contracts when it comes to solar and wind. then at least he'll be honest. And I'd be like, well, okay, you're right. But you're not. What you're saying is, oh, we want clean energy. Do you, though? Like, do you really want hydro or nuclear? Do you? Not really. You don't want either of those. You just want cronies with government handouts. That's what you really want. And you want to make sure that it's those local community boards. I'm sorry, those councils, economic development councils that make decisions that the local people don't have no choice on whatsoever. They don't care. The local people have absolutely no say in it. That's what you actually want. You want those local people to shut up and just let you have cronies build wherever they want. Just say that. That's real, at least.
Deserve no less. And we believe in a respect for organized labor and a commitment to a future that honors our heritage of labor, hardworking labor members like
hardworking labor members who throw all that delicious union money right in my pocket. And she has already raised $20 million. This one actually, look, if I'm her, I'm doing the same thing. I get it. They're
members of my own family.
Yeah.
And we believe in the rights and dignity of every single LGBTQ plus member of our family. We believe in rights for them.
Okay.
And we believe in fairness.
It's true. I don't know if you need to add do the plus, but it's fine. I'm with you on that one.
For our undocumented workers and dreamers, just to give them a little peace of mind. And
I like having good immigration. I'm good with that. Okay. But you don't do immigration, do you?
Without fear of discrimination, sexual harassment, or retaliation, and to receive the full reproductive freedom that they deserve that's being denied in other states. These are the core principles.
Is this not New York? There is zero chance of there being, banning abortions in New York State. Zero chance. That's never going to happen. Is that something you're worried about?
In our DNA as New Yorkers.
You might have seen videos like this before.
That's it.
But here's the big secret.
I'm literally going to have to
Anyone
get
can make one of these videos in a
red thing because it's just too many. This is every
Today
5 minutes.
We come together at a crossroads.
Is a commercial.
New York's
Wow,
history.
YouTube, you're going nuts.
And in our country's history. So
Almost
much
unwatchable.
of our country, and you heard it from Hillary Clinton, even parts of our state
Yeah.
are so divided. People are deeply retreated into their partisan corners.
Okay, listen to this. Everyone's retreated into their partisan corners. We can't have this. We're divided.
Team wearing their own colors, the red and blue, sitting on opposite sides of the field, shouting at each other, shouting over each other.
Yeah. So how are you going to fix that? You got red and blue yelling at each other. It's not good for New York. She just said that. How you going to fix that?
Yeah, we cannot ignore the fact that while we root for our teams, we share a common bond, a love of the sport. And despite what's happening in our national politics today, we still share a common bond, and that is we are all Americans. And make no mistake, we are competitive. We like a good fight.
Do we?
And that competitive spirit must be harnessed. And not against other Democrats, but against the other side, the Republicans.
Literally? Could you be more hypocritical? We got to fix this for all Americans. So let's harness all our hate and punish the Republicans. Because I'm a uniter of Democrats. I'm a uniter of my people. I'm going to make sure that all of the people that are mine and wear the blue jersey do everything great. Literally, she just said that. Was I wrong? It's terrible. It's so let's harness our our energy and punish the Republicans.
So here's my.
You see the club? They're all like, "What did she just say? What did she just? Is she uniter or what? I can't tell." That's what she said.
Playbook for success.
That's success.
I've done this a few times, my friends.
Yes, you have.
Here's my playbook. You run with confidence, but with the tenacity of an underdog.
Wait a minute, but I thought you were all about humility.
You take nothing for granted, and you fight until the very last second.
I guess that's true. I like that part. That's a good part.
And to win, we have to demonstrate that Democrats will deliver.
Really? Well, what? I like that. Okay, maybe. Look, I've been watching this and punishing myself and punishing all of you. And Democrats now that are going to deliver. Okay, so you got to help me on this one. We're going to deliver. Okay, come on. Bring it home. You disappointed me last time What are we going to deliver? Deliver something. Come on, deliver it.
Over the last 6 months, by working together, Democrats have made New York a better place to work and to raise a family.
You literally just made that up. There is absolutely no evidence in what you just said. Okay, I'm gonna be her now. And you know what? What I've done as Larry Sharpe, I've made it to where everybody owns a unicorn and rides it to work every day. Same thing she just said. Utterly not true. No evidence of that. Same. I love it. See, the problem is you're too boring, Governor. When you're going to make up lies, put like a unicorn in it or something cool like rainbows. Do something nice if you're just going to blatantly lie. I was the king of Sweden, and now I make unicorns. You know, I got some flair. You've got nothing. We made it. How did you make it better? People are still leaving. Over the last 6 months, about 150,000 New Yorkers have packed up and left. Clearly, you're not telling the truth, or you are delusional. One of the two is true.
And we're taking on the tough fight.
Look, they're not even clapping. They're like, when did she do that? Did she do that? Her own people aren't clapping. They're like, I don't remember her doing that.
That matter. We're showing that we listen first, but we act with conviction and fortitude. And we're restoring faith in how government works.
How?
More importantly,
where?
Who it works for.
None of this is true. I mean, every single piece of data you look at, more and more Americans and New Yorkers do not trust government, do not believe in the leaders. She's just making things up, literally just making things up. Maybe I am the king of Sweden after all.
And moving forward,
yeah, no one's even clapping. They can't
anyone behind.
Because
New York cannot succeed unless we all succeed.
With the exception of Republicans. Sorry. So sorry. New York can't succeed unless all Democrats succeed. She hates Republicans. She's been very clear. She literally just told everybody to focus their anger and energy against Republicans. She just told you that 5 minutes ago. So remember, as long as you all Democrats succeed, you're not a Democrat, you don't really matter. If you're a Republican, you might as well just pack up the U-Haul and get out. That is her message to you. The united that she is. Well done. Yeah, they're like, is that right? I'm not sure.
And our work is far from done.
That's true.
Far from done.
Accurate.
And the decisions we make in 2022 and beyond will have an outsized impact on our people and the state for decades to come.
And you know why? Because centralized control punishes everyone. That you're right. Again, you're right. But if you had more localized control, more localism, if an error was made, it would be made locally. Hopefully we could learn from that error. Other local areas could help out, learn from it, and assist to get that group of people out of their problem. That would be great. That's a better method. But your way, when you decide to punish us, you punish 18 million New Yorkers, and we all punish. And the problem is you can't admit you were wrong, ever. So because of that, you'll never even admit you're wrong. You'll just double and triple down. You just keep doubling down. And then eventually when you pull it off, you'll say, see what a glorious queen I am. I have given you some of your freedoms back. You have earned them. Here they are.
So as we start to write a new chapter in our state party history, our values and priorities must remain as true as they have since I was a teenager when I fell in love.
Think about this. And this is an important piece. Is she going to have to run a primary? No. Right? She doesn't have to run a primary. She's just won the nomination. There will be no primary for her. So she's not going to run a primary. And she knew the odds of running a primary were slim. She knew that. And this is her speech, assuming that she wins the nomination and there's no primary. If there's no primary, why are you talking so partisan? Shouldn't you be talking about uniting everybody and everyone doing great and New Yorkers being wonderful? Shouldn't you be doing that? Isn't that what most politicians do? They run far left or far right within their own primary. Once the primary is over, they kind of shift towards the middle and talk about America and Americans or New Yorkers or whatever, right? Once the primary is done, they stop talking about their own party so much. That's very common at the norm, right? Not her. She's not talking about that. She's still talking only about Democrats. She literally said, focus all your anger against Republicans. She literally said those words, right? Focus all the anger against the Republicans, not us, Republicans. Go beat them up. They're the bad guys. She said that. Well, don't you want Republicans to vote for you? Aren't you the governor of all of New York? Don't you want all of us to get together? No, she doesn't. You might go, Larry, that's a terrible idea. She's going to make the Republicans not vote for her. It doesn't matter. There aren't enough Republicans to vote her out. They don't exist in this. They don't exist in this state. They don't exist. There physically are not enough Republicans to vote her out. That's why they're leaving. There is no hope, so they leave. She knows that. She doesn't care if one Republican votes for her. This is her acceptance speech. And she's like, fight the Republicans. They suck. That's what she's saying. She doesn't care. No need. Again, between 2 and 3 to 1, Democrats, Republican in this state, for those you don't know. And there's still some Republicans who are saying, Republicans, we just got to get together and vote. You're smoking crack. What's wrong with you? A Republican cannot win a statewide election. If you thought that was not true, listen to her speech. She literally told you, she told her people to yell at you on her acceptance speech when she's not running a primary. She doesn't care about you at all. She doesn't have to. And on top of it, in case you don't know, she's already raised $20 million. She has $20 million in her pocket, an AG who will fight anybody she tells to fight, to include Trump or anybody else. So an AG who will attack anybody she wants to sick her on. And she doesn't care if Republicans vote for her or not. Doesn't care. Doesn't matter. She knows she's won. The only way you beat someone like her is a coalition. That's it. You beat the empire through a coalition, not through one party that's fooling itself. Sorry, Republicans. Just being forward.
With this party, the hope and promise that's embodied in this party. And that is our unwavering belief in the potential and value of every single human being.
Except Republicans.
It's our party. And what defines us is
our
that
party.
We actually care about people.
Except Republicans.
And we believe that government has a role to play in creating opportunity for our people.
No, that's a little bit off. A little bit. I added the Republican piece, but you have to add that I believe that government has the only role to create opportunity for everybody.
We believe in a better life for all.
Except
so our task that lies before us is to ensure that our actions meet the scope of the challenges we face, is to show the Democrats united behind a common agenda and what we can actually do.
She's not saying that New Yorkers, I want to be very clear already. She's already won the primary. She is the Democratic nominee. There will be no primary. So why is she talking about Democrats? Why is she talking about New Yorkers? She should be. She's not. And the reason is she's not concerned. She's now trying to help out and say a nice message for the national level so that more Democrats, she's hoping, can win in 2022. She's not worried about her race at all. She's like, you Republicans, whatever you want, you can't win. And sadly, she's correct.
For what is the greatest threat to the Republican Party? What is their biggest
more
nightmare?
Ads. I can't believe how many ads these are. This is crazy. Literally, if YouTube is trying to get me to stop watching ads,
a united Democratic Party. That's what they're worried about.
Oh, hold on. The biggest nightmare. Hold on. Listen to this. Biggest nightmare.
Biggest threat to the Republican Party?
What's the biggest Republican Party?
What is their biggest nightmare? A united Democratic Party. That's what they're worried about.
No, what the Republican Party is worried about in this state is a guy named Larry Sharpe. That's what they're worried about. Larry Sharpe is going to do really well. And they should be smart, and they should give Larry Sharpe their nomination instead of playing around with some guys and get beat by 20, 30 points. Just saying. They're really afraid of. That's what they're really afraid of. They weren't afraid of Larry Sharpe. They were going to try to throw him off the ballot last time. They're not afraid. They're not afraid of the Democratic Party. They know you've already won the state. They know that. Some people are fooling themselves, but in general,
even on issues we don't agree, when it comes to election time, we cannot allow ourselves to be divided and never lose sight of the fact that as New York Democrats, we know where we need to go. We share the same destination.
New York
Sometimes
Democrats.
it is different road to take to get there, right?
No, but it's only Democrats. Her words. I'm not making this up. Her words. You can see it if you're looking right there. Never lose sight of the fact, her words written right there, that as New York Democrats, not New Yorkers, because if you're not a Democrat, you really don't count. I mean, you just don't. So just Democrats.
It's all right. We're all Democrats.
All Democrats.
So alongside the leaders we have, and we have incredible leaders here in the state of New York.
If you did, why does the state suck so bad? See, again, she made that up. Yeah, she made it up. Yeah, I'm a billionaire because I said so.
Majority Leader of the United States Senate, Chuck Schumer, is our leader in Washington.
Oh, he's just killing it. All the stuff he's got passed. Nothing. All the thing the left has been bugging him about that he passed. Right, nothing. Correct, yeah. He's been amazing that this state still sucks. He's great, I guess.
On our ticket in November. And you heard from our Lieutenant Governor, Brian Benjamin. He is a rock star.
Oh, rock star. He's been in the Senate and Assembly forever, and this state has sucked ever since he's been in it. So,
trying to take on.
I'm not sure if this is a good thing you want to say.
The 370,000 miles you heard about me traveling. He's trying to go for my record, but he's incredible.
Because he drives around the state. I do too. I'm not sure that makes me the lieutenant governor, though. I guess I could just say it and then, I don't know, disagree with whatever you say. I guess I could do that.
The passion and heart he brings to this. And talk about passion and heart.
I'm gonna stop this for a while. It's a lot. It's a lot. And let me grab some of your comments. I've been punishing you for a long time. I don't want to keep punishing you. But I hope you see what I'm talking about, right? I mean, literally, she's won the nomination. Her nomination. And she should be talking about New Yorkers. No, not at all. Scott says every party should have a primary. That'd be nice, but they don't want to, right? They just want to walk down everything. Yes, because Scott goes to their organized crime syndicates. Scott, you're not wrong. Well, actually, can't say crime because it's what they're doing is legal. So they're organized mobs, maybe mafias. Yes, maybe, and maybe it is criminal. I don't know what's a better one to do. Yeah, absolutely. David says, so the Democratic Party has canceled primaries. Yes, that is correct, David. It has. Absolutely. Melissa says, congrats on the announcement. Thank you, Melissa. Yes, absolutely. Sean says, Hochul's bought already. Oh, yeah, 100%. Absolutely. John says, any exciting news this week, sir? None that I could think of. So, yes. David says, so Larry, can someone donate $44,000 to your campaign as Libertarian candidate, another $44,000 as the forward candidate? You know, I don't think so, but I should probably check that out. I don't think they could. What you would probably want to do if you want to do that, I think you probably could donate. I think you probably could. But you know what? Let me check with my my team. My gut tells me this is not a fact. My gut tells me you could probably donate $44,000 to each party, and the party could bundle whatever the party wanted to and could support me in that way. So the party could give if it wanted to. So you could probably give $44,000 to each of the organizations, and those organizations could give if they wanted to. So I hope I have enough people who have enough money who want to give $44,000 to multiple parties. I hope you all have that kind of money. It'd be amazing. I do have donors who give 5 figures, $10,000 or more. I have several of them. But none of them I know are prepared to give it 3 times. So I hope there is one. For those who don't know, the maximum you can give a gubernatorial candidate in New York State is $44,000. That's the maximum. But I'm happy to take whatever you would like to. And if you do care, thank you for that, David. You can go to LarrySharpe.com/donate to support the campaign if you like. I would love that if you want to. Not just that, though. Please like, comment, and share in general. Get this out to people so that people can see what's going on and understand what my thought process is and how things work. If you want to support the show itself, not the campaign, the show, they're separate entities, then this is free. Head over to libertarianism.com. Click that link right there. Share that link. Take the test there. Get some cool merch. You can get points to get the merch for free, or you can buy the merch if you like it that much. Up to you. It can be free or pay if you want to, whichever you prefer. It supports the show, gets people knowing what's going on, and people see what libertarianism is about. And it's not about, stop the government. I mean, for some people it is. But what it really is, it's about happiness, and it's about caring about people. And what that often means is pulling back force. No coercion, but persuasion. That's really what it's about at its core. So I hope that was clear. So thank you for that, David. I do appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Morgan says there's something about a Democrat saying we like to party after locking everyone in their homes away from any parties for 2 years. That's really rich. Morgan, I cannot agree more. I can't agree more. Yes, 100%. Robert says Hochul is not representative for New Yorkers. Robert, I'm going to give you a little bit of bad news. Most New Yorkers, well, maybe not most, half at least of New Yorkers, think she's fine. They're okay with her. They either support her or they're fine with her. Most New Yorkers are. I know it sounds crazy, but most actually are. It's terrible. So, Chelsea says Clinton and Hochul in the same room. I'm in hell. Oh my God, it's terrible. Yes. Sean says, I think lizard person. Oh, you don't think someone who says common sense? You don't think that? Oh, okay. All right, there we go. Yes. So Dan says, oh my God, Hochul's mad cringe. I can say this because I'm Gen Z. That's true. Yes, absolutely. Yes. David says, when I think of Hillary Clinton, I think of reinstatement of the draft and 30,000 dead in Syria. I also think Vince Foster. Yeah, see, right? Thank you for that in Syria, right? The idea of, government can do good, the power of government to do good. I don't remember Hillary Clinton doing such good in government. I don't remember. Maybe I missed something. And you know what? There is a chance that something she did wound up being good. That just happens sometimes, right? So maybe there's something she did that ended up good. It's possible. I'm sure someone could find it. Now, stacked it up against the thousands of things she did that are bad. It goes away. So you could probably find something she did that ended up good. Just odds? You probably could. You could probably go down and find one. But then there's 500 she did bad. That's not a good ratio. So, yes. Tom says, Larry's a Russian asset now. Yeah, I am. I wish. At least they'll be getting paid. Something, I guess, right? I don't know. So, yes. All right. Let's see here. John says, teaching us how to hammer a cell phone. That's good. I like that. That is good. Yes. David says, Hillary Clinton is LBJ and Richard Nixon in a pantsuit. Ouch. Oh, my God. Yes. Oh, my God. All right. Let's see here. Shell says, wait, Hochul wasn't elected into office. She was officially. She was elected officially as a lieutenant governor. She wasn't elected as governor. She was elected as lieutenant governor. So, yes, she was, but not what you think. Yes. So, all right. Let's see here. Shelley says, how is one person elevated? That sounds like a cult type word. Yeah, maybe. It could be. Yeah. The Scientific Libertarian says, I highly doubt it will end up in any history books. Yeah, that historical stuff she said is just stuff she's saying. Absolutely. Missy says, make sure to like, comment, and share and subscribe. Yes, she's correct, particularly if you're on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. It does matter. Share this. It does matter. The biggest issue that we have to worry about here is other people seeing this. I got to get past my shadow ban. So please like and comment and share. It does matter. Absolutely, to the best of your ability. It does matter. Please. Yes. Jamie says, be bold, vote gold. I agree. Yes. Dixie says, literally no humility in her. And she talks about it like she doesn't know what that means. Right? Yes. Daniel says, every time I hear her talk, I throw up in my mouth. Yeah. Yes. That's good. Let's see here. Let's see here. Michael says, no mask, but that's okay. But our children need them in school. Power trip. Yeah. Remember she's saying how people, we got to help them out. Why? By making sure that kids can't go to school and being punished in school. Terrible. Terrible. I didn't see her up there with her. No, but kids who compared to someone who is over 60 in relation don't get affected at all. I mean, the chance of you getting affected and being hurt as a kid is something like 0.02%, not 2%. Of 1%, 0.02. It's some crazy number like that. It's crazy. Yes. William just goes, she's horrible. Correct. That's accurate. Absolutely. Yes. So that's good. All right. Let me grab a couple more of these if I can. Morgan says, Larry, get an ad block. I think I'm going to have to. Right? Yeah, I think I'm going to have to. I've really been thinking about this. I gotta just do this. I just gotta do this. That's all. So I gotta do it. Oh, come on. She does all the crap she gets. Yes, she does. But when you get in that spot, I felt it, right? I felt it. And there's a little bit of, I was there. So, yes, that's all. All right. Let's see here. If I can grab this here. Shelly says the signer is having difficulty trying to sign everyone's shouts. I know it was bad. Yes, it was bad. Tim says they keep using the word leader. I don't think that word means what they think it means. Yeah, there is no leadership. It's not that. You're totally correct. Absolutely. Melissa says, I'm organized labor, and she suspended me. Yes. Thank you, Melissa. So you're a hero until you don't do what she says. Now you're a zero. Joel says, unions blindly support Democrats. Blindly. And if you don't, oh well. Yes. She also says, wait, what happened to the Working People's Party in New York? Are they actually backing this shrieking harpy? It's actually the Working Families Party is in New York State, WFP, and I think they will be backing her. Yes, I think she's going to get both lines. I think she will. So she'll probably have 2 lines. They were considering Jumaane Williams, but I don't think he's going to take it. I think it will be, actually, they were going to do, initially Working Families was going to do Tish James. And then now she's dropped out and she's completely backing Hochul now. The odds are the Working Families Party will just back Hochul too. So Hochul will have 2 lines. So yeah, that's the piece. Again, I'll have 3 more than her. See, I'm cooler than her. If the Republicans get smart, they'll give me their 2 and I'll have 5. But I don't know if Republicans will be smart or not. They still think they can win somehow. But what are you going to do? Becca says, Larry's full of it tonight. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I do love that. Thank you. Pete says, if we let Queen Kathy and the far left have their way, we'll be the next Canada. Pete, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Nobody thought that Canada, not nobody, but most people weren't thinking that what we thought was our polite and kind neighbors to the north who were kind of socialist, but the nice socialists is what we all felt. The nice kind, like with the healthcare and stuff, the nice socialists is what we all thought. Then some truckers got mad. They went, no. Let me show you my true face of socialism. And they did that, and they turned right into fascism. They went right into shut it all down, take all the money, take all the everything. They went right down to it. You are correct. I think most people did not see this coming. They didn't think Canada would be like, you know what? I'm just going to freeze your bank accounts. Why? Because I'm mad at you. Done. Yes. Yes. She also says, yes, Nixon's not the EPA. Thank you. I thought it was Nixon. Thank you for that. Yes. Yeah. And she's like, you know, it was after Vietnam. Vietnam was 75. Nixon was 72. So I think you're a little off on that one. Just saying, you know. So let's see here. Shell says the women's rights movement started in New York. Oh, is that right? Okay. So, okay. I'll give them that then. I stand corrected. I didn't realize it was started in that. So there we go. Yes. So he says 1974 League of Women Voters was booted from overseeing elections. I think was it 1994? Was it 74? Ooh, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Right. Nixon was in California. That's correct. I knew he wasn't a New Yorker. Correct. The only New Yorker that's been as a president recently, if you count Trump, but he wasn't a Democrat, he was Republican. He was Democrat at one point. He's gone back of his reform, Republican, Independent, Democrat. He's been all the parties basically. So if you want to count that, then I guess you could count him, but now he's a Floridian. So I don't know how you would count that, but it would still wouldn't be a Democrat anyway. So even if you count Trump, you can't count him as a New York Democrat, at least unless, back in the day. So Michael says FDR was the last New York president. There we go. Yes. So Pete says, I'm excited about the Libertarian nominee for New York governor. Me too. And so is Chelsea. Absolutely. Yes. Let's see here. Dave says, translation, to serve all registered Democrats, but especially those who gave me campaign money. Now, if she were to say that, while I wouldn't like it, at least it's honest. Just say it. Look, that's one thing I'll give Cuomo. This and I hate that man. But I will give him this. He said straight up, no room for you as a conservative in my state. He was like, get out. You're conservative, leave. He was open at least. At least he was open. Get out. I don't want you. Done. She's like kind of pretending, then says, attack Republicans. So I'd rather her just be like him in that regard. Just say it. You hate conservatives. I got it. Just say it. At least we know where we stand, right? Everyone knows where you stand. It's all good. Doesn't matter. So yes. Anyway, Shelly says she thinks bottom up is what you say before drinking shots. That's actually cute. I like that. That's good. I like that. Very good. All right. And Dave says, since when did the Democratic Party in New York need rebuilding? This is the piece, right? I'm with you. This is like, I don't know what she's saying. Is there money missing in the Democratic Party coffers? They have tens of millions of dollars, Dave. They're good. Tens of millions of dollars. They are absolutely fine. Absolutely. They are not vulnerable. They're not required. They're all good. Yes. So Benjamin says, King of Sweden, you probably never even driven a Volvo. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just going to reject that. Because I can, Benjamin. That's exactly right. Yes. I reject that. Yes. I'm just using that on my girlfriend. There we go. I just reject that. Done. I don't care what you think. But Larry, here's the evidence. I reject that. Okay, I guess. Absolutely. So it's good. Michelle says, I'm so close to leaving the state. Michelle, I get it. And I get if you leave. I feel bad because I really want to give people who love this state a chance at making it better. And I think if we had some actual hope, we don't actually have any hope. She's just saying that, but New Yorkers don't have hope. If we had hope, there wouldn't be so much violence. If we had hope, people wouldn't be leaving, right? All of the evidence that would exist if we had hope does not exist. She's just saying stuff. And the people who she's rewarding, it makes it sound good that they're grifting off the state and they feel like they're doing something right. They're not. The state's a disaster in every way you could imagine. There's no good happening right now when it comes to our government. So I get it. I get it. So Ryan says, Larry on fire again. I am trying. Yes. Let's see here. Logic says, and then she kept us and the kids in school masked. Yep. Because New Yorkers rise up. Right. Okay. How about letting New Yorkers rise up and remove the mandates? Yes, Mr. X. 100% true. She's a clown. Absolutely. Yes. James says, what's your take on the trucker convoy to DC? It's about to happen soon. I have a feeling that DC is going to somehow stop it. The cops are going to make a blockade. They're going to physically stop it. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they will find some way of stopping it. I'm not sure what that is. I can't imagine Biden and the administration letting that happen. They're going to do something, Jimmy. I'm not sure. My gut says they're going to physically create some kind of blockade. It's my gut. The other thing is they might just start threatening, literally, if you show up, the FBI will arrest you. They'll do something like that. That would be my gut. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that by the time it gets there, before it gets there, something will happen to stop it. I can't imagine it happening. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm usually right about these things. I can't imagine it happening. So, all right. Jimmy says, how can people not see through this? Seriously. I think what's happening in this case, Jimmy, and I want to be very forward about this. Most people who are watching this are watching her. They want to believe, right? If you're not, except for us and me, who I have to watch this stuff, but if you actually tuned in, you're like, wow, the governor's talking. Let me watch. Let me show up. If you're one of those people, you want to believe it. So your mind is ready to believe. So when she says things that are completely untrue and obviously wrong, you go, man, that makes me feel better if I believe that because I'm voting for a monster and I don't want to believe that I'm voting for a monster. So I'll believe that she's going to give us hope or something and I'll feel better about myself. And I know that sounds odd, but I think it's true. And I think that if we're able to give people real hope with someone else, we had a shot at making some real impact. The reality of it is, if you went to that convention and you asked the people there a simple question, what would it take for you, Democrats, to vote for Republican. Many of them would laugh at you right in the face. Like I would never vote for Republican. If you went to a Republican convention and you asked them, what would it take for you to vote for a Democrat? Most of them would say, I would never vote for a Democrat. Yeah. They never would. So now, if there's a Republican that I think, well, that Republican's not bad, do I want to vote for him if I'm a Democrat? No, I can't, because he's the evil one. I can't vote for him. I'm a Republican, a Democrat. Might be a good one. No, I can't vote for him because they're evil. I now have to validate my vote for the person who may not be a good person. I think this is it. Or worse, which happens in New York State far too much, I don't bother showing up. I just stay home that day or go to work or watch Netflix or play a video game. So, yeah, I think that's it. That's what my gut says. So, yes. All right. Dave says, correction, she's worried about gun violence. Other types of violence aren't real violence. I wish you were wrong. But you are right, Dave. You're right. Yes, absolutely. Michelle says, farmers are not worried about crime. They'll have guns. Michelle, well done. Yes, well done. Absolutely. Yes. Farmers are worried about losing their farms. They're worried about losing their farms. That's the biggest issue. Absolutely. Paula says, Larry, if Kathy had to debate you, the election would be over before it started. You'd be governor of New York. Well, maybe she will. You never know. Maybe she will. I mean, she does have humility, which means she probably will. Yes, that's very good. Yeah. Paula says, she goes on, Catholics happy at people suffering. Odd expression on her face. Yeah. I noticed that too, right? You've seen me when I talk about people who are in pain or hurting. Many of you know that I actually go out of my way whenever I can, whatever little ability I have, I try to help people when they're in trouble or in pain. I do it often. You see me do it here on the show. You see me do it live. Just try to talk someone into a better spot if I can. Help to the best of my ability. I hate to see people suffer. I've suffered. Many of you have suffered. Suffering sucks. It's not a good thing. We're all going to suffer at one point. Life is a series of joy and pain. You know, in between is some boredom that we try to deal with. And we hope that our life has more joy than pain, because it will have both. We just hope that we have more joy than pain. And the best case scenario, the joy clearly outweighs the pain, and we don't have that much boredom. That's what we hope. But I hate when people suffer. I know that we're all going to. And suffering can easily make people mean or nasty. What's that saying I use all the time, right? Hurt people hurt. If you are hurt, you're more apt to hurt others. It's why happiness matters so much. Happy people don't commit crimes. Happy people don't hurt other people. Happy people grow. Happy people help others grow. Happy people grow their business or their career or their education. They retire here. They go to school here. They keep their careers here. Happy New Yorkers is key. And the one thing I don't see any politician care about in New York is happy New Yorkers. That's the number one issue. Happy New Yorkers solves a whole lot of problems just on that. A whole lot. It's the panacea. If that makes any sense. So yes. Kurt says she supported Andy. Completely. Completely she did. Utterly she did. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Let's see here. Kendall says, I voted for Larry Sharpe in 2018 and will be voting for him again in 2022. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that so much. Yes. Yep. Henry says, Larry seemed to have called it when he said that Hochul might try to claim to have been responsible for defeating COVID. 100%. That is going to be the story. The question is, Henry, the question is, will New Yorkers believe it? But that will be the story. The story will be, she dealt with it. She fixed it. Without her, you all be dead. That will be the story. She helped. She kept it down. That'll be the story. Will we believe it? I hope not. I really hope not. Yes. So, all right. Michael says, I want a Larry Sharpe versus Kathy Hochul debate so bad I can feel it. It would be great. I love it. I do love it. Shelley says, if you're the 85% who voted for her and send big checks, then you'll be worthy of her help. Also true. Yes, absolutely. Brian says, Paula, maybe it's not joy. It could be gas. It's possible, Brian, but I hope not for her sake. That would be nasty, huh? Oh, my God. Yes, absolutely. That's good. Joe says, I must have talked to about 10 New Yorkers down here today. Nice. Probably gave out as many of my campaign cards with your name on the back than I did with just my name. Joe, thank you so much, my friend. I could use every bit of help. Thank you. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Becca says, mirror, mirror on the wall. Nicely put. Absolutely. Yes. Nicely put. Mirror. If she looked in the mirror, it'd be kind of interesting if she would. Absolutely. So, all right. Keno says that's your boss. It's true. That is right. Yes. Absolutely. So the Democrats' culture of harassment. Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. That's good. Shelley says, Kathy Hochul not only tolerated a culture of harassment, she enabled the culture and tried to silence the press. Thank you, Shelley, for that. Oh my God, thank you so much for that. That's my point. She had the ability to do something, say something, whatever the case may be. If she would have wanted a press conference, the press would have held that she was the lieutenant governor. If she wanted to address the assembly, address the Senate, propose a bill, I don't know. I'm assuming that if you're lieutenant governor, you have the governor's ear. You could have told him, dude, you got to stop this. What are you doing? Stop anything, right? She could have been someone to talk to. She could have told the people, look, if he's bugging you, come to me, right? I'll defend you. Come to me. I'll help. Anything she could have done. Nothing. Yes, absolutely. So, all right. Let's see here. James says your new 2A platform isn't exactly great either, Larry. It isn't? I have a new 2A platform. I don't think I have a new 2A platform. I don't think I do. Did my team put up a new 2A? I don't think I do. My 2A platform is get rid of Safe Act, and make everything and make it normal to have a firearm and transport it in New York State. That's been my platform since 2018. I don't know. I'm not sure what you're talking about, to be forward with you. Maybe check my site. Did my team put up something I don't know about? I don't think so. I haven't had a new 2A platform in 4 years. It's been the same thing. Non-compliance for Safe Act, so we can get rid of the Safe Act. Non-compliance on all red flag laws. That's been since I started. That hasn't changed. Making sure that no matter what in New York State, if you go across any county border, minimum standards for transportation. If your firearm is locked and unloaded, you don't go to jail. Then you might go, well, Larry, should be better than that. If you bring your firearm to New York City, you're going to jail. I'm saying don't go to jail. That's a bad thing. No one else is even talking about that. There's not one candidate who wants to stop that. Right now, if you take your legally purchased firearm, locked up and unloaded, and you bring it to New York City, you are going to Rikers Island, the most violent jail in the nation. That's currently. I want to get rid of that. I also want to change the definition of loaded in New York State. New York State loaded, the definition in New York State is ammunition in the vicinity of the firearm. That's the definition. So you got your firearm here and a box of ammo here. They can say, well, that's loaded. I said change definition. Loaded is bullets in the gun. That's bad. That's not great. Please tell me any other candidate who wants to address that issue. I got New Yorkers going to jail for that. Someone else saying that? Nobody. That's literally in my plan. That's it. Change that. Not just that. Change New York's permit rules from may issue to shall issue. Right now, they don't have to give you a permit if they don't want to. They can wait years. Now, you're supposed to only do it within 30 days or 90 days. Supposed to. But no one does. And they can tell you no for any reason. My rule is if they don't give it to you in 90 days, you get it. Shall issue, not may. And if they do tell you no, they must give you a reason why and an appeals process. That doesn't exist in New York State now. So I don't know what you're talking about, Jimmy. No one is saying this. I'm talking about actually making it easier and better for people to own a firearm in New York State. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know what you would say that. There's no one else. No Republican. This is a Republican. This is what they say. What the Democrats say. Doesn't go far enough. More gun laws. You just heard her say it. Doesn't go far enough. So Democrats are terrible. Republicans are this. I am ready on day one to sign the repeal of the SAFE Act. That's a fantasy. You can't repeal the SAFE Act right now. Most of the assembly still thinks it's great and wants more, and the Senate's still run by the Democrats. That's just rhetoric they're telling you. It's just lies they're telling you. You're not going to repeal the SAFE Act. You can't. It's impossible. I have an actual plan to do so, and that is first, you stop enforcement. Now you take that data and show that there's no difference in enforcement versus non-enforcement. That means the law is irrelevant. You can then go to court to get that thing removed. You can then get it repealed because you have data to back that it is useless. It is just a way of punishing people. It's the second thing people don't realize. Most of the people who are being punished by the SAFE Act are inner city kids who they're adding SAFE Act charges onto their gun charges so that they can force a plea bargain. Who's talking about that? Only me. So I love you, James. I do. Jimmy, I love you. I don't know who's in your ear with that garbage. It's just not true. Whoever's telling you that, they made that up. They're as bad as Hochul. They made that up. Hope that was clear at least. So, all right. Let's see here. Avi says, Larry, I saw you on Kennedy. You killed it. Thank you. When is your next media appearance? Rogan Report, Lawrence Jones on Fox News. Coming soon. I can't tell you. They don't want me, but something good is happening on next week, early next week. I can't tell you what. There'll be something good next week. It's not Rogan. I wish it was, but it will be eventually. It will be. But something good's happening next week. They don't want me to say it until they're ready to promote it. So something coming soon next week. Week after, something good too. So we got a couple good things in the hopper coming. Absolutely, yes. All right. Let's see here. Logic says, James, Larry wants to repeal SAFE Act. What are you talking about? I agree. See, there we go. I did not change my position. I don't know what that is. Yes. James, you've made this up. It's not true. I did not change anything for the endorsement of the Forward Party. Someone who told you that is making that up. Utterly not true. Not true at all. It's the same thing I've always had. Yes. Let's see here. Kim says, today's horse and pony show of fighting homelessness with yet another pamphlet is BS. Who releases people? Hochul wouldn't even know what a homeless person looks like. The system is very broken, 100%. New York City has to do better. Steve Banks of DHS, de Blasio, and their wife need to be investigated for crimes against humanity. Wow. They've been bad. I agree. They've been bad. I agree. I'm not sure I'd go that far, but yeah, absolutely. Christopher says, I reckon Hochul doesn't know much about the black market. I think I would agree. Yes, absolutely. They don't know and don't care and not even interested. Yes. So absolutely. Michael says, our education is like a smelly bowl of poop. That's funny. Yes, I would agree with that also. 100%. Yes. Logic Rex, what is a 9-day waiting period? There's no 9-day waiting period. In New York State now, for you people who don't get this, it can take anywhere from a year to 2 years to get a permit. Yes, officially there was a law that says it's 90 days, but all the counties ever do is just say, the counties don't like guns, just go, we don't have enough people, sorry, you have to wait. That's what they say. There's nothing compelling them to give you an actual answer, nothing compelling them to give you an appeals process. In fact, in New York State, they can tell you no without any reason. Done, just because they want to. That's what happens. So we're making it way better. New York State, I don't know if you know this, do the polling. Look at New York State. Most of the people in New York State, they want more gun laws. That's how Republicans won't even stand where I stand. Nothing was changed. I was always that way. It's always been a problem. The gun laws have just gotten worse in New York State, not better. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't know where you are. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe I should check. Did my team write something up new I don't know about? Did they write you can't get guns for 90 days? No 90-day waiting period. It's a 90-day maximum. They can't go longer than 90 days. Now they go far worse than 90 days. So I don't know where that is. Now you can make me look at the website now to see if they put something new up. Hold on. Now you make me see if it's possible. It is possible if they're putting something new up. Now you're making me look. Hold on. I'm going to check right now. It is possible if they put something new up. Hold on. Let me go down here. See, where's my Second Amendment rights? I'm going to look right now because you guys keep saying this. Yeah. Yes. Say the SAFE Act is bad. Reform the laws. Yeah. Unlocked and loaded. Reciprocity. Yes. I'm saying reciprocity. I don't know what you're talking about. Everyone has a personal right. Yes. Reduce permit hassles. Yes. Waiting period. No more than, meaning you can't wait more than 90 days. That's what that means. I don't know what's wrong with you people. Why would you think? Why would you even imagine that I would be that way? Maybe you're trying to trigger me or something? Maybe. It almost worked. But no, yes. Granted automatically, literally. Number 2, if the system fails to make a choice, the permit is granted automatically. You change it to shall. Right? If the county does not approve a permit, there must be a reason provided, and the decision must be able to be appealed. I'm giving you an appeal process. I don't know what you're talking about. For those of you whoever told you that stuff, utter horseshit, total lies. Not true. It's right there. I'm reading my own website. I haven't changed it in 4 years. That's something you guys made up. I changed nothing. All garbage. All right, let me keep moving on if I could. All righty. Let's see here. I'll go to the next one. Dave says, but Democrats would never turn politics into a blood sport. Never. Of course not. Yes. Let me see if I can go down here. Chelsea says, oh, let's fight against our fellow New Yorkers. Such a great move for an already downtrodden state. She doesn't care, though, right? If the Republicans leave, it's all good, right? It's all good. Doesn't matter. Yes. Abe says, Governor Platitudes. I'm waiting for her to say when we are going to have farting rainbows and unicorns. That would be there'd be some swag on that one. I like that one. I do like that one. That's not a bad idea. Yes, that's good. That's good. Christopher says, Hochul's voice goes up and down a lot, like she's expecting cheers or something. Yeah, and the people don't even know. You can see how they're kind of like, should we be clapping at this? Should we be clapping? Kendall says, wow, she literally just talked about how divided we are, then went after Republicans after saying she's a uniter. Literally. Yes. Literally. Yes. I love that. All righty. Let's see if I can do this. Shelly says, I just found a sweet 3-bedroom house in Texas, just exploring options. Shelly, give me a couple of months. Give me a couple of months before you run. Couple of months is all I'm saying. Yes. Just a couple of months. Yes. Dave says, translation, if you're not a Democrat, F off and die. Yes, that's true. Absolutely. And then Elaine says, rewriting history, she really means. Of course they will. Yes. 100%. Yes. All right. James says, Jimmy, you know me, brother. What are you doing here? I love life, but I hate pandering for money, fame, and whatever. Who's saying that? You listen to the wrong people, my friend. You listen to the wrong people. That's all I'm telling you. You know me better than that. You listen to the wrong people. All right. Let's see. Joe says, gotta find a way to sneak into the Democratic primary, Larry. That would be awesome. I wish I could. That'd be amazing. I wish I could. Absolutely. But there's no way. I mean, there's no way I could get there at all. 100%. So, all righty. Let's see here. I wish it was a role rather than the role. Yes, thank you. Government should, yeah. If I have to have government creating stuff, a role would be better, right? Yes. You know, a role will be better than the role. Absolutely. So let's see if I can go here. Griffith says, Hochul, I noticed, speaks to the microphone, not to the people. She's not genuine with the public. Larry's always genuine to everybody. I try, right? I'm trying to be that person. I'm trying to just talk to you, right? I mean, look, I'm having people who are mad at me, and I'm dealing with it right now, right? I'm not going to diss it. People think somehow I'm all of a sudden doing something with guns, whatever. I don't know. But I'm talking to you. I could have blown it off or not put it up or not clicked on it. No, people are upset. Let's talk about it. I'm okay with that. Let's do it. So Henry says, organized bureaucrats. The crime thing sounds better, though, right? I got to admit that organized crime does sound better. I like that. Kenneth says, from now on, I'm just going to refer to you as New York Governor Larry Sharpe. I like that. Yes, I love that. Dave says, isn't there a 10,000 limit to state parties? I don't think so, Dave. I don't think so, but it might be. But even if you gave to the party, you could give to each party separately, and then party could bundle. I believe that's true. I would check to make positive. I haven't had to run on 3 lines before, So a lot of this is guessing. I've got to make sure it's correct. But look, if we make a mistake, we'll give the money back if it's a mistake. I mean, we'll see. Absolutely. We'll figure out the answer. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. That's not my goal. I want to try to follow the law because I don't want to get in trouble. So yes. So, all right. Kirk says, I just want government out of my life. Yeah. Lunar Eclipse says, Larry, nobody likes Hillary. It's not just my rock rib conservatives. As New Yorker, I know old school classical liberals who detest her. Remember Bernie? Tulsicrats will never vote for her. I agree. She's not, if she was popular, she'd have been president, right? I mean, right? If she was really popular, if people actually liked her, she'd have beat Trump. So, yeah, it's clear. It's not true. I mean, Trump is very easy to both love and hate. He's big personality, right? Easy to love, easy to hate. So if she was popular, she'd beat him, right? She'd have made people hate him and she would have beat him. But so she definitely was not popular. Yes. So, all right. Let's see. Dave says, I thought liberals and Democrats supported strikes. No. Only when it hurts Republicans. Then they do. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. All right. Let's see here. Ryan says, but Larry rejects that. Yes, I just do. Yes, absolutely. I reject that, and that's all that matters. So, all right. Let's see if I can grab a couple more. You guys are doing some back and forth, but I appreciate that. Brennan says, Larry's a good guy. I try. I do try. Yes. Tyler says, just so you are polling 60% in New York. I'm just wondering what percentage of voted you need to be considered a major party in New York, like what was achieved in Arkansas with Ricky Dale. Ricky Harrington is awesome. I like him very much. I know he got like 30% or something like that. He got a big chunk when he ran for governor. He ran against Tom Cotton. So that was a great thing. I'm so happy he did that. Now he's running. No, he ran for Senate. Sorry, he ran for senator. Now he's running for governor. Sorry, correction. Now he's running for governor. He's running against Huckabee and I forgot the other guy. One more guy. But anyway, I'm sorry, Sarah Huckabee and then some guy, Democrat. But in any case, what we need in New York State is either 2% or 130,000 votes, whichever is higher. So that's in my rear view mirror. That's an easy day. Easy day. Yes. So Paula says, yes, Larry, I have seen you cringe when you're talking about people suffering. You don't have some strange smile. You definitely get upset when you talk about U.S. involvement in another foreign war. It's true. It does bother me. Absolutely. It does bother me. Yes. Paul then goes on. She totally had Cuomo's back. She was unapologetic about it at worst, silent at best. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Completely agree. Yes. All right. See if I can grab this one. Kurt says she was waiting for Andy's job. I agree. She was happy with what she was doing. Absolutely. Yes. 100%. Let's see if I can go down here some more. Paula, can you get the Working Party's family endorsement? It's Working Families Party. No, I don't think I can. I could try, but I mean, in reality, I would give it a shot, but I think they were behind Tish James, and now that she's supporting Hochul, they'll probably skip behind her. I doubt that will happen. Yes. So, all right, if I can grab some more. Juan says, someone asked me if I was getting a Larry Sharpe bumper sticker. I said, hell no, bumper sticker's too small. I'm going to get my car wrapped. Yes, we're doing car wraps. I love it. We're getting car wraps. Not bad at all. Yes, I love that. All right, let's see here. Wow, you guys have so much stuff here. I love this. So many. I'm trying to grab the right stuff. Yes. Juan says, it took me over a year to get my permit, and I live in a 2A friendly county. Larry Sharpe's stance on 2A is great. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Yes. They can just wait. That's it. They can just wait. Yes, as long as they want. Yes, absolutely. 100%. All right. Let's see here. Launch shall issue full carry CCW permit, please. I am probably 2A, no compromise. Ideally, I'm a constitutional carry person, but in New York, that's just not living in reality. Thank you. I don't know what people think. Nuts. If anyone thinks we're getting constitutional carry in New York in the next 4 years, you're living in a fantasy world. This state is far too anti-gun. Not even close. Far too anti-gun. I just want to make it to where you don't go to jail, which you do right now, for owning a gun legally in New York City. I would like to stop that. Let's get there first. Let's get it so where you can actually get a permit first. Let's go there. You can't get a permit in New York City, basically. I mean, there's some people here or there, but you generally can't get it. And then Juan he lives further upstate than I do. Right? I live in the city. He lives upstate. Well, not upstate, but upper. Right? He lives in the Hudson Valley. So it takes him over a year. You guys are talking trash. It's fine, but can if you want to. Believe what you want. Oh, good. All righty. Keep going here. Let's see here. So many people going back and forth. Eric says, as a libertarian, I'm happy to see that we are not sending troops into Ukraine. How do you think this Russian invasion thing ends? Any novel solutions? Yes. I think there is a relatively simple solution. Tell the Russians and Ukrainians that we don't want them in NATO, and then leave NATO. Why should we be in NATO? Walk out of NATO. That's the answer. Go, you know what? NATO was fun. We're out. Done. If we leave NATO, Ukraine won't care about NATO. Western Europe won't care about Ukraine. Problem solved. Just leave NATO. We don't need it anyway. Who are we fighting in NATO? We afraid the Russians are going to run tanks across all of Europe, and we're going to fight them with our tanks? You want a land war with Russia? I don't. We're not going to fight them anyway. And they're not going to run their tanks across the Europe anyway. The Poles are going to accept that. The Germans are going to accept that. The French are going to accept that. The French have nuclear weapons, and so do the Brits. NATO is useless. End NATO. That's my novel answer. Get out of NATO. End NATO. No one will care then. Just no one will care. Yes. So, all righty. Paula says 6% is awesome, especially this soon in the race. Yes. Get enough cash and you'll be headed to the governor's mansion. I hope you're right. So excited for you and New York. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. Yes. Let's see here. In Hudson Valley as well. It took me 10 months to get my sportsman resident. Yes, 10 months. See, I'm not crazy. I'm saying 9 days. Took you 10 months. Thank you. I don't know what people are talking about. Yes, absolutely. NATO are now just thugs for OPEC now, basically. It's very good. I love that. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for this evening. I appreciate you giving me a part of your Friday evening. I hope it was fun. I hope it was interesting. I hope you like what we had to say. You can see what she's talking about and realize that New York's in trouble. It's in trouble. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. If we can win here, we can win anywhere. If we can change New York, we can change the entire nation. We can do it. You're only going to do it through a coalition against the establishment. That's it. A coalition against the establishment. That's all. Have a good night, guys.